Hello and welcome to Play Talk Repeat. I'm Oliver and I'm joined by Niall, Alex, and Lewis.
Hello.
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 It's time for our video game book club episode. Once a month, one of us chooses a game for the group to play and review, and this month the game is Mouthwashing, chosen by Niall. Niall, please explain why you chose Mouthwashing
I'll,
for
I'll
us to
tell
play.
you. I'll tell you like it's the first time I've told you. Mouthwash. The reason why I picked mouthwash. Actually, I can't remember when I first heard about it or saw it, but I've got a notes in my phone, like of every game which I ever come across, which I think, oh, that'll be fun to play. And mouthwashing, the note with it was brain fuck fun times. Is what I wrote. I'm not too sure what the impression was, other than maybe just looking at it. But yeah, I'll watch a few YouTubers who say like what games they played that month, and that was one of them. So it's been on the list for a while. I was originally going to choose a game called Not for Broadcast, but then I said, "Oh, I think I found the game for Video Game Book Club," and then booted up Not for Broadcast, and it pinged everyone else in the call that I picked up, so I can't pick that one. So yeah, mouthwashing on the list, and we hadn't had a. Have we ever had a horror game? Yeah, we have. Eternal
Yeah,
Darkness.
Yeah,
Eternal,
Eternal
Eternal
Darkness.
Darkness.
Oh, just be a bit different. So yeah.
So, a little bit about the game. Mouthwashing is a psychological horror game developed by Wrong Organ and published by Critical Reflex. It released in September 2024 exclusively for Windows PCs. Now, can we have some opening statements? We'll start with who picked the game, Niall. Before you're about to have your brew.
Yes. Mouthwashing. If I'll say, if we played it last year, it would have been my pick for game of the year. Last year, it might be my pick for game of the year this year, but I've played two other bangers, so it's going to be difficult. I will say now I gave it a 9.5 out of 10.
Jesus.
Yeah, I thought it was absolutely incredible. I thought first of all, I apologize because when doing the 20 questions, I said that walking sim wouldn't help you when it definitely would have helped you. When I also I've heard about mouthwashing all over the place. I've listened to a podcast the other day, and they described mouthwash as more of a survival game, which it definitely isn't. So I don't know where they got that from. But yeah, it is a game which I think will stick with me for a long time. It's a game which made me feel uncomfortable, incredibly stressed. It made me feel ill, and it made me feel very sad as well a lot of the time. It was all done very purposefully and done very, very well. And in its short, like I think it took me just over 2.5 hours to beat. Um, yeah, it's gonna live a lot longer in my head. I'll say that. There you
Jolly
go.
goes, that's a 9.5. Alex?
So, Niall, you've ended your bad streak of games for me.
Oh, no.
I really, really liked Mouthwashing.
There we go.
I gave it an 8.5. I thought the storytelling was fantastic through the perspective of two different people. Um, I really liked the story. I liked how, like, the survival aspect of it. Obviously, it's not like a survival game, but like the story of surviving on this ship. Like, I don't know why I really like those types of stories where it's like you're trying to survive. Even though like I
You
could
can
do
play
nothing
as
about
a
the
sleeper.
story.
No, you shouldn't
I
play
do.
Citizen Sleeper.
No, 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 no. I'm not playing that. But yeah, it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely gonna stick with me for a while, I think.
Yeah. That's an 8.5, Lewis.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, mouthwashing, I gave a 6.5. I think the game is good in the story that it's telling. That's by far the best aspect of the game. The dialogue is incredibly realistic. I think the themes of the game are very strong. And I think overall it is one of the better horror stories that I've seen told in a while, purely because it manages to do horror in a way that's somewhat realistic and doesn't rely on necessarily jump scares. It relies on something that theoretically could genuinely happen. It's about people being stranded and basically having no hope in basically ever returning or ever living the situation that they're in. And that's something that's always very realistic. I think the game itself shines most when it is a walking sim, but it introduces a bunch of parts into the game that are very much not a walking sim. And that's where the game really starts to suffer. All of those parts that aren't the walking sim parts, the game sort of really falls apart, if I'm being honest. I don't think any of the survival aspects are very good. I don't think any of the puzzle aspects are very good. I just think they're all a bit poo. But the walking aspect of the walking simulator aspect of the game, which is about 80% of the game, I'd say, is very, very good. And like I said, I think the story was good, the dialogue was good, and everything. I didn't think the story was this masterpiece. Like in regards to like twists and turns, there wasn't many for me. Most of it came quite easily, and I expected it to play out the way it did. I enjoyed the way the game was told from two different perspectives. And one of the whole big things of the game is you didn't quite understand in what context things were happening exactly and whose perspective they're actually coming from. When that all comes together, it's very cool. But I think the story itself is relatively straightforward, but I think the dialogue itself and stuff obviously enhances that. But yeah, I give it a 6.5, mainly just because I think as a game, somewhat it falls apart in places. If it had just stuck with the walking sim aspect for the entire game, I think I would have rated it higher. But because it didn't, yeah, it just falls apart a little bit for me. But I enjoyed it. I still really enjoyed it overall. 6.5 isn't bad. It's just,
No.
yeah.
Okay, granted, it was bad enough to make Niall shake his head ever so slightly.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
I think it's fine for reasons. Fine.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I agree a lot with Lewis on a lot of the things he said, but so I gave it an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I feel like it's very effective in what it sets out to achieve. It looks great. It's genuinely scary in parts, like Lewis said, not jumpy scary, but very incredibly unsettling. The sci-fi horrors are my favourite kind of horrors because you're always trapped on a ship and there's nowhere you can go. I'll definitely, like Niall says, remember it for a while. It'll definitely stick with me. I feel it falls short slightly in the third act of the game, and a lot of the things that Lewis was talking about, the bits that aren't walking simulator, are in that third act of the game. Certain elements of the story can be a little bit hard to decipher. I did have to watch an explanation video when I finished it just to clear one thing up. But otherwise, I feel like it's an excellent walking sim, really. But I just don't think I can give a walking sim more than an 8 out of 10.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, in total, I mean
An
added
average.
up and divided by 4.
Yeah.
We got an 8.125, which is pretty good for us.
It's good for Niall.
Oh,
Definitely good for Niall.
It's beat the 6.75 that we normally
Yeah.
give on Video Game Book Club.
Yeah, so let's. I want to delve slightly deeper into what Lewis was talking about. So the bits that aren't walking simulator, I assume that, Lewis, you're talking about the chase/hide sequences.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to talk about my issues with each of these. So the first one is when you're in the when you're in the warehouse. Yeah, you're in the big mouthwash.
Invisible
yeah.
monster.
Yeah, that I didn't have to like look anything up or anything, but I just walked as slow as possible throughout the entire thing, and it took way too long. Because no matter if I started moving faster than a crawl, the screen would shake immediately, as if it was right next to me. The
is
creature
mad.
that's chasing me.
Yeah, so you can
I've
see where it
sprinted.
was.
Yeah, you can see by the
the
boxes. Like
Yeah, so that you wait for it to get far enough away, so you
Yeah.
can have a good sprint before it gets to you again.
So that's what I tried to do, but no matter what, as soon as I sprinted, I died because it came straight back. I just had to crawl, and even when I was crawling, I had to keep stopping because it was right behind me. You know what I mean?
That's mad. It did take, to be
I
fair.
ran
Yeah.
like, to the to the blue sheets so that it couldn't hear you on the blue sheets.
Oh, were they
Yeah.
silent? Ah, right, okay.
Yeah.
The audio didn't react. Like I assumed that they were silent, but like your footsteps still sounded as loud as the other footsteps. I think I might have just got lucky on that one as well because I didn't realize what the puzzle of it was until I was at least halfway through that sequence. I just sprinted the whole time, and then eventually it stopped me, and it took me a good while to figure out what I needed to do there. But yeah, if we're talking about chase sequences, though,
I want to talk about the second one is what I want to talk about.
which one's the second one?
The one where it's very close to the end and you are in the vents.
Oh, with the babies.
Yeah, with the babies.
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
the most visceral, intense experience I've ever had playing a game. Like, I was fully invested in that. I was, like, shaking in my timbers. I'll say that for nothing.
It was certainly spooky, and it achieved that very well. But again, you might be able to tell me I'm wrong here, but there was no clear way to not be hit by that thing.
I agree with all of them.
Me and
You just
Lewis
gotta
discussed this
predict
before.
The
Predict it. I don't know what it's
Predict
gonna be.
how? What do you mean?
What
Predict
do you mean? So
it?
like so basically you do it so you're walking one way and you're looking essentially over your shoulder. So to walk forward you hold D and then look left, right? So look in the direction you want to go. So you have the peripherals of like, okay, it's coming down the path, quickly yee into one of the side bits. Now there might be some like terrible RNG where it'll turn
Felt
into
like
the side
it
bit,
felt like
but
it
that
was.
happened like to me like once.
It took me
Every other
about
time,
9
if I
times.
turned in time, then it was fine. I mean, I died loads to it, but it didn't feel like it was massively unfair. It felt like it was incredibly quick, and you needed to be quick in reacting to it. But I thought that was important to selling its spookiness.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it came more across as it didn't give you any logical way to actually solve this without just brute forcing it until eventually it ended, which is what I did.
It wasn't a solving thing. I thought it was just a reacting thing. Because you noticed as well, like, it did despawn and respawn in different places. Like, it didn't, like, follow the exact same path. Like, it could be on one side of the place, then on the other. But, like, I felt like it always still gave you enough time to react to it.
But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, for me, it came across more as like maybe there was a way to do it, but I could not figure it out for the life of me, and it genuinely just became a thing of on the run. I completed it on it because it wasn't even about getting a certain distance. It was just about basically surviving for a certain amount of time, and then it would just end. And I couldn't figure it out any of the time. The last one I did was just very lucky, where I just happened to keep going down directions where it didn't just absolutely just destroy me instantly. And then I was fine. But it took me a bunch of times, and I ended up just becoming more annoyed with that scene rather than being scared of it or anything. I was just getting frustrated. But again, it just like I said, it feels like it's the parts of the game that just fall apart. Like, because any part that wasn't parts like that was really good. But then whenever it tried to do something like that, all I could think in my head was, this is really annoying. You're not doing it very well, which I don't think it was.
For me, what was confusing when Oliver first said the chase scenes is I was 100%. I didn't even think you guys were going to have an issue with the chase scenes. I thought it was going to be entirely. I can think of 3 puzzles, and all 3 of them particularly stumped me, and I had to look up a guide on how to do them. I didn't think they were explained.
It was the
particularly
same
well.
thing with Swansea as well on the gun. Like, that part just wasn't good either.
I loved it. I loved how awful the controls were. I loved how terrible the view was. I loved how you had to.
Oh shit! Yeah, that bit as well. I completely forgot about that bit. That sucks ass.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the background because you say it like you enjoy it, which is fine. I think I think thinking about it from that perspective is fine, but I don't think it was intentional that it was bad. I just don't think they designed it very well, and they didn't know how to make it play well.
I think
Yeah,
so
it
first of
felt
all,
so slow.
Yeah, lifting up your gun and firing was way too long.
Creating good gunplay is 10 times easier than what they did. It was entirely intentional to sell what was happening, 1,000,000%.
I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Well, you should.
I felt like you had to cheese it as well. Like, you had to, you couldn't walk around the graveyard freely. You had to stand in a corner, and even then, even when you could see, like, you're looking down one, he doesn't give you enough time to see him, notice him,
turn around,
pick up your gun, and fire the trigger. It's just way too long.
You have to pretty much 180 him at the final millisecond before he hits you and just happen to shoot him. Which I just think is silly. I just don't think it was designed very well, that part.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Like I said, I think enjoying it and thinking about it is like, I like how clunky and what it adds to the experience. I think that's fair and valid. To me, it just comes across more as it just wasn't designed very well.
That's the thing as well. There's stuff in games which is like not as clunky, but quite clunky. But that's the thing. I feel like this game, with all its clunkiness, respected your time. Like that sequence, even if it was a bit of a bastard, like if you were being awful, was 10 minutes maximum.
Oh no, yeah, it wasn't like I was stuck for 40 minutes or anything on it. It was just a frustrating like 7 minutes of me just being like, I don't like this. But yeah, I don't know. That's just how I felt about those parts. Like I said, it was just a walking sim. It would have been good.
Yeah.
That's the chase stuff, which I disagree with you all on. Well, I don't know about Alex. I assume he also hates the chase stuff. Do you hate the chase stuff, Alex?
I didn't hate it. I just preferred not, like, it just wasn't the best.
But what I think we can all agree on is the puzzles. And I sent Oliver a spoiler message in Discord. I think it's the first puzzle you come across.
I like the
which is actually probably the easiest puzzle in the game because it tells you exactly how to do it. But I was just really confused. It was the one where you have to make a cake.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I was also.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
So
just-
what was it? Where I got confused? I thought something was a hob.
Yeah, so
Oh my God,
so these two
incredible.
also got confused with the exact
Yeah,
same part.
I thought it was a
Yeah.
gramophone.
Yeah, he thought it was a
slash, like,
gramophone.
like slash
I
like,
thought
recorder.
I thought it was a record player.
Yeah.
And Oliver also thought it was something.
That was a pancake press.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I thought that.
So that was clearly the
I
game
literally pressed
problem.
4 to preheat it in anticipation. That is what I did.
Yeah, that's the
It
only
doesn't
thing.
help the fact as well. You can get one of the ingredients without
On
having
the
to
floor,
put in a
yes.
code. Yeah,
That's
so that
exactly what happened with me, yeah.
immediately made me think, okay, the rest are just somewhere else. I need to go find them. So I was looking
That's
for
what I
ages.
thought as well.
So
Yeah.
that's the game's problem, 100%.
Yeah,
because
so-
we all,
Yeah.
we all,
The difference is the difference between like me and what you guys are doing. So I noticed the pancake press first, and I noticed the numbers 0 to 3 or whatever it is, or 1 to 4. So I instinctively, when I saw the recipe, knew that's where I had to go. So I didn't struggle with that puzzle. The only puzzle I struggled with was the one at the end. I don't
I don't
want to do any spoilers or anything, but it's when the screens are in front of you, like Niall just said,
Yeah,
and
the
you've got to organize to get the food to the guy's stomach, and
Oh,
it seems like a big trial and error exercise rather than actually.
Yeah, because
I
it's not
didn't
logical.
I didn't get stuck. It took me probably about 4 or 5 minutes, but obviously I had to keep doing it to see the path. I had to figure it out like that.
I had to look up a guide because I couldn't handle him throwing up.
Yeah.
Like, it's proper making me feel ill, and I couldn't handle failing again.
about 10 times I kept doing it, like, while I kept feeding him. So I was like, why isn't it letting me
but
turn
not
the
in.
valves?
Oh, right.
So I thought I had to do it
Yeah.
during the
Real
cycle.
time.
I thought that as well.
Yeah. So I did that about like 10 times, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? And then I accidentally pressed it, and I was like, oh, I've got to move it beforehand. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
One thing which I wanted to ask, because it's something which you can figure out and it's quite cleverly done, but I think it's also pretty obtuse, is finding out where the gun was. Did you guys have to find
I
out?
knew straight away because I saw it
Yeah, I
in the
did.
first few seconds of the game.
I didn't
didn't.
know because I saw anything. I just knew realistically where it was going to be, and I'd seen that code. Oh, sorry, I'd seen where there was a code at the very start of the game. Like I knew to go instantly there.
That's where I went as well.
Alongside the code, there was her employee card as well, which is what's supposed to make that connection.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. No, yes,
Yeah.
I can tell you, I picked that up, picked her employee card right at the beginning of the game, and I saw there was something missing below the code, so I knew immediately where to go. I want to talk about the story, Niall. Can you run us through the story without spoiling anything?
I can try. Honestly, I thought it was one of those. It was more of, for me, it was more of a vibe than anything else. So like, I mean, the stuff that I know for certain, rather than like theorizing anything, is that there's 4 people on a ship, which is your boy Swansea,
Jimmy, Curly, and
oh, there's 5 then, because is she called Amelia or something
Anya.
like that?
Anya.
Anya, and then
And
the
Daisuke as well.
Daisuke, yeah. So 5 people on a ship. It's a long haul cargo ship. And at some point at the start of their, well, like I think it's like halfway through their journey, they collide with something which crashes, which like causes bad shit to happen on the ship, and then they've got to try and survive with the remaining days left on the voyage, which is about like 170 days left, and they don't have that amount of resources. And so that's the start of the story. I don't know how much further I want to get into it.
yeah, it's so without saying any characters' names, it's about the deterioration of someone's psyche and how they slowly go more and more insane over time, kind of thing. And it all starts at the beginning of the game, and then he uses a I can't remember what it's actually called. It's like non-linear storytelling or something, where it jumps,
It's all over the place.
constantly jumping between time periods. There's a point where it does it way too much, especially like when Daisuke is going through the vent.
Oh
That
yeah.
all got very confusing very fast because the sheer amount of times they jump between time at that point. But I really enjoyed the story. I think that, like, apart from that bit, the non-linear storytelling really added to it.
Yeah, I agree.
because
I felt like from scene to scene, like the previous scene made the new scene make more sense because of the information which you got of what's gonna happen or what just happened.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But one part about the story that so again we can't spoil what the outcome was, but when there's the pregnancy bit of the story, it felt number one like an afterthought, like a massive afterthought, and it wasn't explained how that came about. I had to look it up, and it was even the explanation video didn't explain it. They had to. It just basically said it was heavily hinted that
Yeah.
she was.
it wasn't consensual, essentially.
Yeah, I picked that up instantly though, like literally like half a second.
Yeah, I did.
It's just the fact that he was allowed to remain on the ship. You know what I mean? That got me. Like it was done. Like why wasn't he in a brig or something like that? It's like nothing was done about it. So
because the whole point is that is to tie in with the whole theme of the story is that Curly was really indecisive with his decisions, and he
was very blindsided.
He wasn't. One of the whole themes of the story is it's better to do something than do nothing at all. Like that's like one of the main themes throughout the entire thing. That's like one of the major story arcs. And Curly was very blindsided at that point, with struggling to basically be a captain. And when he was confronting Jimmy about it, he was blindsided by the fact that it was Jimmy, and he basically chose to do nothing about it. But because he chose to do nothing about it, Jimmy obviously took it into his own hands, and did what he did. And I don't know, it makes a lot of sense to me. Like, obviously, they didn't need to like, flat out say it. I think that's one of the good things about the story is that it implies a lot of things. There's even the implication. I guess I can't really say because I don't want to spoil it for people. Yeah. But there's an implication that the pod isn't necessarily for the person that everyone assumes it's for the entire story. And there's stuff like that, and I think that's like where the storytelling shines. I think the story does a very, 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 very good job at basically doing a lot of like show not tell, which I think is good. It lets you figure stuff out, and you can have your own interpretations of things. I don't think I can really fault any of the dialogue or any of the storytelling for it being confusing or not knowing what it's doing. I think it's all done very intentionally to a point where it's sort of done perfectly, if I'm being honest. And for some people, obviously, like I said, the twists and the turns are gonna hit a bit more for certain people, and I think the themes of the story and stuff that happens are definitely gonna be a lot more impactful to certain people. And obviously, that's gonna like sway how much of a connection you have to the story, because I can imagine this story being incredibly heavy for some people, and I can imagine this story obviously not being as big of a deal to some people. It just depends on your own personal life experiences. But I think that adds to a good story.
So again, it's just a minor thing. Again, I'm going back to the pregnancy thing. It's like I believe the time went up until about 5 months after the crash. 4 months, and she didn't show at all. The character model didn't change. I know it's supposed to be like PS1 retro graphics or something, but there was no indication that she was pregnant, apart from when she said it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remembered something.
Hit me with that.
About it's not to do with the story, but it's to do with the animations. I noticed like one thing which creeped me out the most was how no one had any walking animations. But they would still follow
Scared
you.
the shit out of me. You turn around and suddenly it's right there behind you.
That was making me laugh.
I started hearing extra footsteps, and I'm like, this is creeping me the fuck out. I did never move, so I assumed they will just teleport to the new location when I get there. And then I turned around and I saw Daisuke just in the darkness in the corner. So then I moved and I turned around and he was a bit closer. And
it was listening to the footsteps and turning around, and Daisuke was just like
stood there,
like a weird angel, just closer and closer every time, and it was really making me laugh. I don't know. I thought that was good. I know that was probably meant to be scary and unsettling, but I thought.
I think it was just them making use of like not being able to animate like a walking cycle.
Probably that as well.
Yeah, but they like turned it into something really scary.
But so the animated Swansea moving at one point.
Weird, they do like
yeah,
that's,
when he's
that's a
chasing.
very scripted movement from like
Yeah.
start to finish, like not actually out in the open whilst you're walking about.
So I'm just watching Alex struggle with a cake recipe on the footage now.
I was fighting for my life. Leave me
Yeah.
alone.
One more thing I want to talk about. So, like, Niall, you were talking about how, like, it really freaked you out and stuff, especially like the environmental changes and stuff like that, made you feel sick, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Have you ever played Layers of Fear?
I've not, but
Yeah.
I should.
Yeah. So if you enjoyed that, I'd massive because I beg it where it like fell down in the final third act for me is that I've seen all this kind of shit before. It's not something that's new. It's been done. It's been done countless times before, and Layers of Fear specifically does it a lot better.
Yeah.
So I'd definitely recommend it for anyone who's played this and enjoyed it. You play Layers of Fear because it's that breakdown of the psyche kind of thing, but it's longer. It looks better.
Yeah.
It's just really good.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like that's the thing. Like I remember. Okay, I played it on Friday, and I was like, "This was not the game that I should have gone into the weekend with," because I'm just gonna sit on it and I'm just gonna fester. Like I felt, like I watched Nosferatu last night, and I had the very same feeling afterwards. It makes you feel dirty and grimy and just like uncomfortable, and yeah, it's just yeah. But it is good. It's just if you want a happy time, I wouldn't recommend it.
No, only for horror lovers. All right, we're coming up on the half an hour mark. Alex, do you have anything more to say on mouthwashing?
It's hard to go like say a lot of things without going into spoilers.
Yeah,
unfortunately, but I'd just say it's only a 2-hour experience. I think it's
fucking
what
play it.
£10 on Steam.
Yeah.
It's worth. I'd say it's worth the money. Yeah, it's just a good psychological horror experience. I'd say.
Cracking. Niall?
Yeah. Well, literally, it's the probably for me in the top 2 of greatest games that came out in 2024. So yeah,
Down.
the other ones are not for broadcast, of course, but you guys will never play them. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not Astrobot,
It's not
no.
Astrobot though, is it?
no, neither of them are, and that's what's great about them.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Lewis, final thoughts at all?
If you're gonna play the game, just make sure to. I mean, if you just listen to this podcast, you probably had it ruined a little bit. But if you're gonna play it, go into it as blind as possible.
Yeah.
And don't let other opinions sway what you think about it. Just play it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. You don't have to love it. You don't have to hate it. Just see how you get along with it, and you'll have an experience for sure, whether good or bad. And I think it's definitely worth your time, regardless of the outcome.
Cracking. Now, can you remind us of the score, please?
8.125.
8.125. Cracking. So, let's move on to 20 questions, shall we?
Oh,
So
the reason why we do this.
it is my turn to pick a game. Let me just get the Wikipedia up for it. 2 secs.
You guys better be better this time.
I think
both
you've got a real good chance of getting this one. Real good chance.
Interesting.
All right. Hit me with it.
I will go first. Is it a platformer?
No.
Well, I'm already looking forward to it.
Do you want me to go, Lewis?
Yes.
Is it a 2D game?
Yes.
I take that back.
So what was Niall's question?
So
Platformer, no.
It's
2D, yes.
not a platformer.
It's not a platformer. It's a
2D,
2D
but
game.
not a platform.
You don't even jump. There's not even an A button. It fires the A button on your controller when you launch it.
Did this game get above an 82 on Metacritic?
I would be extremely
That's
surprised
random.
if it didn't. Above an 82.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Oh. It's a banger. It's a big banger.
Yeah.
It's a heavy banger.
Right, so it's rated different things.
Okay.
All right, but so 2 of them are above 82, but 2 of them are not.
Just whatever Metacritic says.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Metacritic gives like an overall.
It does,
Right.
but not for. Okay, it does. I'm reading off the Wikipedia.
Oh, is it for a different console?
Yes, essentially.
Right. Okay. Right. So it'd be like the
No,
Switch
so
version or something
oh,
would
it's
be
been
lower.
re-released or remade. It wouldn't be It's 2D, isn't it? It wouldn't be
I'm
remade.
not,
It'd be
I've given you enough on that one. I'm not giving you any more.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's something to think about, I suppose. Is it Nintendo?
No. Assuming you're asking if it was Nintendo published.
No, I was asking whether it was the company Nintendo.
All right, no, it's not.
Cool, Alex.
Did it originally release on the PlayStation 4 generation?
I believe so. Yes. Yes.
That's 2013 to 2020.
2019-ish. Yeah.
Okay, 2013, 2019. Go on, Lewis.
That's the fourth question, that, isn't it? Yeah.
That was the fifth question.
Yeah.
Question.
That was
Thank you.
that was the fifth. Yeah.
Is okay? Is this game is this game a franchise or part of a franchise?
No.
Standalone.
The one and done banger.
And it's 2D. Should we ask what we already know? Whether it's pixel art? Should we ask that?
No.
Okay, right.
Not yet.
2D. That's the thing. If it can't be a 2D Metroidvania and not a platformer, so it's not a Metroidvania.
No.
But then, what other 2D games are there that's not a Metroidvania or a platformer?
Well, that's what I'm thinking of. The fact that it's 2D but not a platformer at all is insane. Unless it's like a point and click.
Could be a point and click. Could be Grim Fandango.
Could be Grim Fandango.
2017 to 2019. So
Wait, 2013 to 2019.
yeah, that's when
Yeah. 'Cause
PS4
it
came out.
originally released on PlayStation.
Oh yeah, that makes
4
sense. Yeah.
generation.
Right. Just want to clarify something there. It did originally release on PlayStation 4. That does not mean that it came out in those years.
Right. Okay.
So it could be a more recent banger.
Oh, but yeah, that's true. Yeah, but yeah. It came out on PS4. Yeah, it's not like all games that are coming out of PS5 games. There's a bunch of games that still only come out.
No, I just thought the question was, did it come out during PS4 generation?
I said, did it originally come out during the PS?
Well,
like,
what you
on the
asked for? Did it?
PS4?
What you asked for? Did it originally release? I'll give you one. It's cross generational.
Is it me or Niall?
If it's me. Okay. I think we can nail down the genre by what it's not, which is not a platformer or Metroidvania. So what we got point and click, we got puzzle. We haven't got visual novel because it's Oliver, so we can remove that. So what else is there? Round table.
For 2D racing.
2D racing game.
2D racing.
Yeah, you move left and right.
Okay, well, we'll not add that to the. It could be. I mean, it could be a dress-up game, I suppose. Right. So, okay, is it a puzzle game?
No.
Okay.
Is it?
Is Alex?
Is it a run and gun?
No.
Oh, I had it then.
2D game that came out on PS4.
He asked a question in Discord yesterday, what the
the
time
time
is.
limit.
That could mean absolutely nothing.
No, it's
But it
definitely
also could mean
It
something.
could mean
Because like,
definitely
that previous
50 hours.
rule was 10 hours, so really that implies it's between 10 and 15. If that helps.
Yeah.
2D game that we're gonna have to play for more than 10 hours.
2D. Would you? No, he wouldn't. No, I don't know. I was about to say is the game known for its difficulty, but like he wouldn't choose a difficult game. Is the?
You never know.
I chose a difficult game last time, to be fair.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, that was a weird kind of difficult.
It's fine for my life.
The best kind of difficult.
Okay. I'm gonna say. Wait, have we asked anything about the main character's appearance or anything, or the character design?
No.
Is the are the characters humanoid?
No. What do you mean by humanoid? Are
Are
you asking are they human?
or are they done? No. Yeah. Well, do they look like humans?
They do not look like humans, no.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because like anthropomorphic animals would be humanoid, wouldn't they? Because humans just means humanoid just means 2 arms, 2 legs.
Is that all it
upright.
means?
Yeah.
Well, it's fine because
No.
do they look like humans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, we need to nail down the genre.
Fighting.
ask-
It could
should
be
I
a
ask
fighting game. I wouldn't fight it.
It could be a fighting. Oh, it could be one of those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, couldn't
Beat
it?
'em up. No. Oh no, it could actually be side like a side scroll and beat 'em up. Yeah.
Yeah. So is it a beat 'em up?
No. That's
Okay,
10
never mind,
questions.
I can't do that. Is there a
Is it an
Metroidvania
action
wait,
game?
Oh, sorry.
Is it an action game?
Is it an action game?
Not classed as one.
Okay.
The fuck? We've not like we don't know anything. We're like 14 questions.
You
in,
started
we
off
don't know
really
anything.
strong and then you just went completely after the wrong threads.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like we've nailed it down to a very specific thing. We just need to actually get the genre, right? We need to get what it looks like as well, because we could clarify that it's pixel art.
I mean, I can ask if it's pixel art. I just don't. Is the game pixel art?
No.
Okay. It's 2D. But it's not a platformer, and it's not pixel art. Is it? Could it be a visual novel? Could it be like Ace Attorney or something like that?
I mean, it could be like Ace Attorney, but I can't think of many games like Ace Attorney.
What if it is Ace Attorney?
What's the times of that?
They can
Like
be a bit. They can be a
14
bit
hours?
yeah, they can be a bit long. It depends on your. I guess it depends on your own personal struggle, I suppose, and how fast you are reading.
Right.
I don't think he would do. I mean, he could.
He does like Ace Attorney.
But Ace Attorney also didn't originally come out on PS4. It came out on DS.
No, I'm not saying it is Ace Attorney. I'm saying it could be a visual novel. If he likes Ace Attorney, that means that there is.
No, I agree, but I can't think of many. I can't think of many visual because there's visual novels, and then there's visual novels like Ace Attorney, and I can't think of many like Ace Attorney. And a lot of the visual novels, I don't think all of us going to be fucking jumping at to play. So that's a difficult one. But I don't want to remove it because I don't want to say now it isn't and then it is.
No, I think I agree because that's the thing. It is not a puzzle game and it's not an action game. So that means it would have to be a very placid visual novel, which is not.
Yeah.
Oh,
I said it wasn't an action game because it's not classed as an action game.
Okay, so his personal opinion is that there's some action in it.
In the official genres, his action is not listed.
Shall I ask whether it's a visual novel?
I mean, you can, otherwise we're just.
Yeah.
Is it a visual novel?
No. Come on, man. What the fuck would I pick a visual novel?
Because I don't know what this is. I don't know what this genre is. I can sense it. Alex is going to hit us with a good question, though.
I don't care.
Look at him, he's full of confidence.
When it was originally released, was it exclusive to one console?
No.
Okay.
We still know nothing. We've gained
Yeah.
no information. 2D. Is it? You wouldn't choose a rhythm game or anything.
I
I'd
hope
kill
not.
myself. I actually would.
Like he could. He wouldn't. Oliver
His face.
Oliver isn't against them, but we just had one, which makes me think he wouldn't. And also, I can't think of any rhythm game that would be like 15 hours long.
Well, don't get hung up on that. Like that was just like an extra thing that it could be.
Are we on
based
12
off
questions?
the-
We're on 12 questions, aren't we?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is our 15th question.
All right, okay. I must have put my fingers down at one point. If you're keeping track, why the fuck am I putting my fingers up?
You just do it every time, so I
You
just
do it
let
every
you
single
do it.
time.
I'm gonna ask.
PS4.
I need to ask questions that are
PlayStation
helpful and not stupidly unhelpful ones. Do you know if it's top down? It could be a top down perspective. Could be like.
It could be,
It's just
but
yeah.
top down, but not pixel art.
Yeah, it'd be a bit weird.
Yeah,
But it
because
could be,
usually
Is he making us play 2 Point Hospital here?
Oh,
I mean, I'd be
Maybe,
down for
yeah.
that. It is a banger.
it's definitely not under 15 hours, I'll tell you that.
Is the game like a top down isometric game?
You're asking 2 questions there.
Is it an isometric game?
No.
What? How is it? Can you have isometric 2D?
I mean, yeah, I guess I mean, it's at an angle, but there we go,
Isometric
kind of flat.
2D
It
game.
could be flat-ish. It could be flat.
I
from
said
the
I said
side.
it's not isometric, so I don't know why you're worried about it.
I mean, yeah, you can. I suppose, yeah, you can
It's like
because
flat from the side angle.
I mean, Hades is technically an isometric 2D game, but the character is a 3D model.
3D model, yeah.
Yeah. So not isometric.
It's not isometric.
I'm stumped. I'm stumped. So it's not human. So that's something.
No,
That's definitely something.
I was gonna say it's an animal, but it doesn't have to be an animal. It could be an alien.
It's not a beat 'em up. Is it okay? I'm gonna ask another perspective. Is it side on, like a side scroller?
No.
What the fucking shit? It's not a side scroller. It's not isometric. It's not a platformer. It's
Not a puzzle, not a run and gun, not a beat 'em up.
It's not.
It's not pixel art, not a visual novel. It's not anything.
Is it?
Apparently,
Right, I'm going to give you something there because I feel bad for making Lewis split his question into 2 when one of them would have got you someone close.
Alright,
It
just
is a top-down game.
Right. Okay.
Top-down perspective.
that's not pixel art. Which
You have all
fucking
seen this
crazy.
game before, without a doubt.
I've said that before. It's not.
No, but I
always
know this time.
true. Okay.
Top down. Get like top
Oh,
down.
right. Okay.
Stardew
No,
Valley.
so I've got some games which I've just thought of. So there's
go on.
obviously Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, but that's an action game. Never mind, ignore me. But like that type of look.
Yeah, Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley's pixel art, you
I mean,
buffoon.
shit, it is.
Yeah, you bastard man.
I forgot
Bastard,
about the key ingredient.
Idiot.
That pixel art. It's ultra realistic.
Yeah, so that's why I mentioned Turnip Boy, because that's the style that we're after. I think I'm almost certain of it.
Look up Turnip Boy tax evasion so I can get it.
But it's not that because of action. Like that's the thing. Action would be in that genre.
I also wouldn't choose a game that 3 people have played.
And we already did a review on.
Not tax evasion. No, the other one.
Oh, Rob's the Bank? Oh, right.
Yeah, that's what I
Rob the
meant.
Bank.
Well, that's pixel art, that one, isn't it? If I remember rightly.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Who's Turnip?
Yeah,
It's
it
me.
is. Yeah.
This game's not real.
I'm legit trying to think of a game, and I cannot think.
And
of
they're not
anything.
humans either. Yeah, it's just a random fucking creature. Could be a washing machine.
Could be.
Could be.
This game's not real.
It is real. It's very, very real.
So you don't play as a human.
You're gonna make us play Don't Starve, Co-op Run.
You play as a human and don't starve.
Oh, hey, you don't have
do.
to. You don't have to play as a
You
human.
can play as a
You
robot.
can play as a robot, yeah.
We're all gonna seem like really stupid when he tells us the game, and I'm gonna be upset.
Are we gonna feel stupid, Oliver?
Enter the Gungeon. Is what
I think at least a couple of you are going to feel stupid.
It's the Binding of Isaac.
It can't. Wait,
I'll
I mean,
play
if it was the original, because the new one.
Oh yeah, the new one.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
It's
yeah.
pixel
If it was the
art.
Flash one, then...
All I can think of is pixel art games.
well, you should stop doing that because
It's
it's
not
not
pixel
a
art.
pixel art game.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's like I think that's where your strategy's falling
Grand
down.
Theft Auto 1.
On the PlayStation 4.
Yeah. You could probably play it on the PlayStation 4.
But we still don't have the genre.
Still don't have the genre. If you got the genre, it'd help a lot, you know.
I don't know if it would.
Right, okay, so here's is what it's not. It's not a platformer, not a puzzle, not run and gun, not beat 'em up, and not visual novel. Those are the
Not
5
action.
genres. Oh, yeah, not action. It's above 82%.
It's a banger.
It's a banger. It's a certified banger. For at least 2 of the consoles that it's on.
I think any game that I think of that's
Wait.
a top-down game is pixel art.
Wait, no, Death's Door is isometric, isn't it?
Yes, Death Story is isometric. It's also 3D.
Oh, well, there we go.
I'm trying to think of other genres
Would
now.
Would you like a nudge?
No.
No. Okay. Cool.
Well,
Not till the 20 questions are
Okay.
done. I was gonna ask if it's an adventure, but that's so broad.
Yeah, no, that don't do that. Do we know if it's a rhythm? Have we asked?
Could we ask if it's a... We haven't asked if it's a rhythm game. Twin stick shooter is also a possibility.
I'm sure
an
Alex
RTS.
asked that already. Oh, you asked Run and Gun, didn't you?
I have
Yeah.
Run and
Yeah.
Gun.
Good.
I
Like
thought
Mouth-
I thought it was gonna be Cuphead at first, and I got really excited.
That would be sick.
Is it an RTS?
No, it is not.
Well, it's
I
not
wouldn't
me
pick an
anymore.
RTS.
Go on, Lewis. Hello?
Hi.
Lewis?
Hi.
Yeah,
Alex just spent 17 minutes on this question. I can't spend
no, but at least that's the thing. You forget 2 things. First of all, we can see Alex, so we know that he's still. We know that he's still there. And secondly, he was making noises.
I'm not just a dick. Is right. Do I ask if it's a rhythm game? I feel like it's such an ass question. A puzzle? No. Do we know if it's a puzzle game?
It's been asked.
We already
It's
asked.
not a puzzle.
Yeah, it's not a puzzle game.
I want to ask if it is a rhythm game, but that's such a waste of a question if it isn't. I mean, I guess it pins down the genre a bit because we know it isn't that, but it's not like I can think of any rhythm games anyway. Is it a rhythm game?
It is not. How many questions are we on now?
Last one, isn't it?
No, we are on 18.
18.
So
Oh,
we
right,
do
okay.
21 anyway,
we do
don't
21, so it's 1 more question each, starting with Niall.
we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just trying to think of genres. We need some genres.
There's a real obvious one that you've not asked. In
There's
terms
a
of
real.
genre.
All right. Okay. So in terms of obvious genres, hit me. So we got horror. That's a genre.
Horror, sports,
Sport.
horror, sport, action,
We already asked action.
Survival.
Adventure.
Adventure.
RPG.
RPG. We haven't asked if it's an RPG yet.
But is there going to be one that's 15 hours or less?
I'm sure they exist. They're just not common.
Won't be on PlayStation 4 though. Still be like 500 hours long.
Yeah. I'm looking at my shelf for any other genres, and I can't think of any.
Those are the main ones.
Literally, of all the PS4 games I own, they are all 3D. I don't have a single 2D one, which doesn't help. So, of those most likely ones, I think it's between horror and survival. or a survival horror, some might say. But
you
would he pick one just after
horror
Mouthwashing?
back, yeah.
Yeah, and we've done that with platformers. We played like 10 platformers back to back. Okay, I'm gonna ask: is it a horror game?
Nah. Nah, it's not. Nah, you could potentially say it's got horror elements, but I wouldn't call it a horror game.
Alright, Alex is go.
Um,
I'm pretty sure it's just described like fucking balloons at this point. It's just like a tower defense.
hey, I'll play Bloons. Bloons
Like,
Tower Defense 6.
Like it has to
Manga.
be. I don't see what else it could be.
Um, is it? Is it a survival game?
No, it's not a
No.
survival game.
Right, Lewis, we need this to get. We need to get the genre with this one, because then we can guess. I reckon if we get the genre, we've got the game.
One of the only genres we haven't guessed, that's like the main ones, would be RPG, right?
That's what I was gonna guess, but I decided.
I think
Oliver
even though it's-
probably won't choose an RPG.
Yeah, I mean it's not a run and gun, but I think it could be some kind
But
of shooter. so-
Oliver gave us a clue in saying that he said there's a really obvious one you haven't guessed yet.
Yeah, I think
So-
shooter's also obvious, but
We've asked
RPG is
shooter,
also
haven't we?
obvious. We've asked run and gun.
That
Did
yeah,
ask
I
for
guess.
them.
Yeah, I
That's how it was
guess.
called.
If you don't run, then there's no run and gun. It's just gun.
Like it could
Just
be
gun.
a shooter. Like the only realistic genres left are shooter and RPG.
Yeah.
Because it can't be a platformer, because you know it isn't.
Well, it's not a platformer. That's the first question.
No, but I'm saying like a 2D game realistically would be, but we know it isn't that. So and we've obviously guessed 500 other genres. So the only ones left, because the only ones left would be an RPG, or a shooter, or I guess sports. So, I guess if I guess RPG and it isn't, then I mean I guess it has to be a shooter. I guess we get something out of this. Like it doesn't have to be a shooter, but like realistically, it has to be probably. So I'm just gonna guess.
Wait,
Oh,
what about a stealth game? Could it be that?
I was considering stealth a lot, but for some reason I was just very against the idea that Oliver would choose a stealth game. I don't know why. I just didn't think
It doesn't. It lacks patience.
I didn't.
That is
think
true.
He's a 30-plus-year-old iPad kid.
I didn't.
Fuck.
didn't-
I went outside and played.
Oliver, is it an RPG?
It's not an RPG. All right, so that's your 21 questions up. I'm going to start pointing you in the right direction because I do want you to guess it because I genuinely believe you can. You've missed a massive genre. And the annoying bit is you've mentioned 2 games that are part of this genre. You mentioned Hades and you mentioned Binding of Isaac.
Oh, roguelike.
It's a roguelike.
Oh no.
It's a roguelike where you don't play as a human. It is 2D. It is top down.
Yeah.
It is massively multi-platform.
Right. So which ones is it not? So it's not Enter the Gungeon, even though
I said it.
pixel art. I'm trying to think of one that isn't pixel art right now.
Slay the Spire. What's it called? Nuclear Throne? Is that pixel art?
I would be surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah.
But why not Slay the Spire?
Oh, I guess no, because it's not. Oh, it is a
Oh
roguelike.
no, it's top down. Yeah, top down.
Oh no, yeah, it's top down. Yeah, you're baiting me now. Yeah, it's it. But yeah. I'm trying to think. Oh no, it's not Crypt of the Necrodance. That's also pixel art. They're all pixel art, my guy.
Would you like the other genre?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
it is listed as, so it's a roguelike, not roguelite,
Yeah.
construction and management simulation as well.
Oh god.
Factorio is not it. Construction management sim.
Going to keep throwing out
That's like
clues until you get
3D.
it. You play as an animal. A very specific animal.
Oh! No. I was going to say Bear and Breakfast, it's not that.
Construction management sim where you play as an
If you're not going to get it now, you are not going to get it at
you
all.
play as an animal in fucking RimWorld.
RimWorld? No, I think that's also pixel art.
Is it?
The guy, it's not pixel art. It is very cartoony graphics.
Yeah.
I can give you the developer if that'll help.
Yeah, go on.
It's
Yeah, sure.
developed by Massive Monster, published by Devolver Digital.
Devolver Digital.
All the digital.
Cult of the Lamb.
It is indeed Cult of the Lamb.
Cult of
We
the Lamb.
we got there eventually.
There we are.
Damn it, I could have got that.
This is what I mean. You've seen the game.
I
It
didn't
just-
know it was a roguelike.
Yeah, it's a roguelike in kind of like it's there's like a base you can build and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've played the first 3 or 4 hours of it. It's very good. I really enjoyed my time with it so far. It's 14.5 hours, so it's right there at the top. Yeah, no, it's gonna be a good time. But so the reason I don't pick before is because Lewis has said on record that he hates like these construction and management simulation things.
I do.
Yeah, he absolutely hates it. But I've made sure it's a small part of the game. The main part of the game is the roguelikeness. It's very Hades like.
I mean, I don't necessarily hate it if it's done well. I've
Yeah.
enjoyed them in the past.
You love Don't Starve.
Yeah, I do. It's a great game.
So you mentioned Don't Starve as well. It's the exact same perspective.
Yeah.
in the game.
I mean, I didn't get it. Like, there's a reason I got it when they gave that final click. It all clicked and pieced together in my head. It's just, I don't know why my head wasn't going there for some reason.
Yeah. All right. We'll close it off there. Can you have just a final reminder of the score of Mouthwashing, please?
8.125.
8.125. That was the score for Mouthwashing, and we will be reviewing Cult of the Lamb at the end of May. Right?
Yes.
End of May. Perfect.
Well done.
Perfect. Didn't even need to ask. But until next time, we shall see you later. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.